Illicit is my latest movie, and it kind of came from me being in the comedy drama space. Then I did a little horror films, and just wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit more mature, but fun at the same time. And so I've always been fascinated with the whole adulterous themes, fatal attraction type situation. I always thought that was kind of cool. But with a lot of the movies, a lot of times when it comes to adultery, it's always the man that's the one doing the cheating. And so I thought it'd be clever if you had a couple simultaneously having affairs, and then the issues that would come about with that type of situation. So got together, started writing it, got together with a actress named Lanett Tachel, who happened to be a new writer, to get a female perspective on it. And we collabed and came up with this little roller coaster ride we call Illicit. Real sexy, little action in it, little drama in it. Very, very happy with how it turned out. It moved actually kind of fast. I had another movie that I was working on called Marriage for Dummies that was in pre-production, and the deal fell through, the money didn't come, and then I was fresh off another movie, Amber Rose movie called Sister Code, which I was hired to direct. The movie came out great, just one of the best experiences, and I was just really frustrated and fed up with dealing with a lot of people outside of my team. So like the momentum was there, so I gotta do something, I'm mad, I'm ready to shoot. So thought of this story. I think we wrote it in maybe about 6 weeks, myself and Lanett Tachel. Talked to Mckinley Freeman and told Mckinley, who was gonna be in my previous movie, which didn't happen, what we were doing. He took a look at the script, had some ideas, some notes, and he said, I wanna come on, I wanna produce this with you. Came, put some money up, called talent. We came, took our talent, everybody put their money to raise the financing, and it went fast. It went from I think we started in September. I think the idea came around June or July. By September of 2015, we were already prepped and ready to go, and we were done probably within a month's time. So it went really, really fast, to be honest with you. Doesn't always happen like that, of course, but this time it did, so it kind of, all the stars aligned.
Hey, I'm Lanett Tachel, and I played Ty in the movie Illicit. So, my character Ty is that friend that you have in your life that always has advice. She's always right on time, and she's the voice you need to hear. Whether or not she's right is a whole nother story, but sometimes you just need somebody in your corner, and that's me. It gets a little messy. My character gets a little messy, but she likes to offer free advice. I'm actually a sex blogger, and that's my side hustle. I create intimate moments, and I tell people what they need to know, in the world of sex, what people really want, what to do, what not to do. And being that I am single and not attached in a relationship, it's interesting to hear me talk to people that are married, perhaps, and giving advice on things that maybe are not quite my lane. I had to do research for my character Ty because I like to think that I don't know everything about sex blogging and advice, and then I just listen to, I'll go in online and see what advice other people give, and I usually would just solicit the messy advice, the wrong things, and that influenced a lot of the writing too. I'm one of the writers of Illicit, and so I was able to kind of steer the things that I could take from other writers of blogs and then just give her a voice. So my voice is the around the way, girl, I know what you're talking about voice in the movie. One thing I learned from working on Illicit that I didn't know beforehand is that you'd be surprised at what you may do, and you'd be surprised at what you may forgive or look past. I believe that everybody has this idea of self. Like, if you're in this scenario, I would never, or I would not let him, or, there's just these things that you wouldn't do. And then in acting and writing, you find yourself like, it's one thing to be in the creative process, and then when you watch it all play back, the gratification is you believe why these people, do what they do. You believe why people make these choices, and it makes you wonder, it makes you check yourself a little bit. Maybe you're a little more flawed than you thought.
So in the film Illicit, I play Lance. He's a photographer and a little bit of a shit stirrer. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. I mean, he finds himself in a situation where he's interested in a woman that may be in a situation already, and runs game a little bit, and that kind of unfolds itself in some really cool ways. But I think the most important thing about not only my character Lance, but all the characters in Illicit, is that they start from a very human place. So even though they might do Lance and other characters might do crazy things, there's something in it that first everyone can relate to. And then, you know, if we're honest with ourselves in our darkest moments, we can relate to the other stuff as well. But I think the ability for people to connect to a character on the screen multiple times is so cool. And when you think, I mean, when I think about the movies that I love, like we were talking about Star Wars earlier and all that other stuff. And when you're a kid and you start playing with toys, imagine the first time you're playing with Star Wars and then you got Lion-O. You're like, wait a minute. Darth Vader and Lion-O can fight, man. What are we doing? You know, then you start, your imagination just takes off, man. And I think as a kid, bro, like, just to be able to like do that. I mean, that didn't require a computer, blah 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 blah. I didn't have that, but just the ability to just create, man. That's to me is the most important thing. In Illicit, I see myself in several characters. I think in good writing and you'll find yourself in multiple characters. I think Lance clearly is a character that I connected to, and then there's also people that are, you know, characters like you know, David Ramsey's character, who's the guy that's trying to do everything right, but doesn't at times seem to be having things going his way at times. So I think all the characters are relatable, but I would definitely say that I'm very pleased to have played Lance, because I think I had so much fun, man. It was so dope. Corey gave me the freedom to create, and hopefully I created something that people enjoy. You know, one of the biggest lessons I learned through Illicit is my first time as a producer and an actor, kind of doing both at the same time, and it's probably the biggest lesson I learned is that everything literally changes, and that's fine. And for me, just being able to go along with the ride and making sure you have the right team around you, and that everybody's on the same page, and that we're all striving towards one goal is the most important thing. Because like, as you know, you think about the hustle in Hollywood, Chicago, Philly, New York, Miami, whatever it is, you got to be so focused, man. The slightest choices could derail. You know, you never know how long it takes to recover from a choice that you didn't mean to make. So staying focused to me is so important.